Hello, my name is Patrick. I am the sales and wholesale manager at Black Forest Industries, located in Cary, North Carolina. So if you buy any performance parts from us or anything, be sure to drop a comment down below and just say, hey, I've spoken to Patrick before or whatever. Just let us know your experience. So I have the Bandit here. I've redone some ignition stuff. One thing I've noticed, unfortunately, with Vortex being gone, things like that, a lot of the information that's out there either doesn't have pictures or a lot of the information's outdated. So recently, I've been having some intermittent cold start issues. These cold start issues include, I believe, what is the heater control valve as part of the idle air control fluctuates on cold start. And then also I'm getting an intermittent hard start issue where occasionally the vehicle will not actually start. One thing I've read into is it could possibly be this blue coolant temp sensor down here. This is pretty common on some of the older cars. I know for a fact it's not actually my hall sender, my cap, my rotor, my coil, or my starter. My starter, although it looks very, very original. Let me turn some light on here. Although my starter looks extremely original, the starter solenoid is new. I had an issue where I had to replace the starter solenoid recently. So most of my ignition system itself is new. So this is why I believed in the first place this probably was not an ignition issue. By the way, I am a factory trained Audi and BMW technician. So I do know a decent amount about cars. I don't know everything. I'm not going to pretend I know everything, but I do know a decent amount. So one thing to actually do is to check the coolant temp sensor. You need to have a known good or what's believed to be a known good, and then also your coolant temp sensor that is in question. So this coolant temp sensor, everyone thinks, coolant temp sensor has nothing to do with hard starts or anything. That is actually incorrect. So this coolant temp sensor here, the black one on the coolant neck, this sends your signal to the dash. So this is actually your coolant temp for the dashboard. This blue one actually sends signals to the ECM, and the ECM responds to fluctuations in temperature, etc., to advance or retard timing. Now again, in order to actually test this, all I do is I have the sensor. Currently the engine is off. I've been experiencing these hard start issues for about a week and a half now. So I kind of already realized where this was going, and I've just left the engine cold at this point just for testing purposes. So what I've got here, positive, negative lead, doesn't really matter how it's set up on the connection. They're just latched on. These have little alligator clips. They're just latched onto the pins inside of the sensor. And then I have my black and red going to their corresponding leads on my multimeter. Now my multimeter, what you're gonna do in order to check resistance on this is flip it to the middle on this particular multimeter. You can use any multimeter. This is just the one I have. This is a Matco Tools one. I really like this one. As you can see, it's kind of rare. You're seeing 5.232 ohms at ambient temperature. Ambient temperature here in Durham, North Carolina is currently about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which would be about 15 degrees Celsius, which, according to the information and the data I've received from Volkswagen, apparently the system, the threshold is supposed to be 15 degrees Celsius, somewhere between 2,500 and 3,500 ohms. So clearly I have a problem here being at 5.234 ohms. Now currently I've disconnected my multimeter from my known bad sensor to my known good sensor, which I purchased through Worldpac today. Currently, again, that temperature is about 60 degrees, not quite 15 degrees Celsius. Current ohms reading 2.639. So that right there tells me this coolant temp sensor needs to be replaced. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. This is pretty self-explanatory how this comes out. I'll go ahead and just show you how it comes out. I'm not actually gonna take it out on camera or anything like that. But right here, also 30-year-old car, so please be careful if you're working on this yourself and you haven't redone the wiring. Your wires will probably snap due to age. So if if I can try and get some more light on this. This is your blue coolant temp sensor. Right down here is actually a green clip. All you're going to do is pull that clip. Since the engine's actually off at operating temperature, I more than likely probably won't lose too much coolant, but I'm still going to take precautionary measures. Go ahead and put a towel down. All right, so I'm back. I've gone ahead and replaced that sensor. If you've done this a few times and you get really, really good at it, you could potentially spill very little coolant, just like I did. Like I spilled just a little right there on the cylinder head, and that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and test this, see if it'll start. If it does, I'm gonna go ahead and say this was a successful repair. If you liked the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And be sure to give us a follow at blackforestindustries.com.